Hello, welcome to the Parent-Teacher Bridge, where you can get the ideas, resources, and solutions to help your child succeed in school. Does your child confuse the letters B and D? This is a common mistake for young children, and today I'm going to share with you some ideas how you can help solve this problem. Your child might confuse the letters B and D when they are reading a word, or they might confuse the letters B and D when they are writing and write the letters backwards. Now, I've seen many children do this who are fully aware that they get the two letters confused. In fact, they are so aware that they go out of their way to write with a capital B and a capital D, even if it's not a proper noun, even if it's not the first word in a sentence. So that tells me if they are aware of the fact that they confuse the B and D, we can train them a bit to know the difference and fix the problem. Do you have a word like this that you confuse? For me, it's the word develop. I always want to put an E on the end of develop. So every time I'm writing or typing the word develop, I tell myself, don't put an E at the end. We need to train our kids when they see a B and D and they know that they get it confused to kind of slow down a little bit, be careful, and rely on some of the strategies that I'm going to share with you today. Before I go into details, if you would like a PDF of all these strategies to tell the difference between the letters B and D, go to theparentteacherbridge.com/letter reversals. You can find the link in the description below. Number 1, keep visuals nearby. So when your child goes to school, ask him, does he have the ABCs on the wall? Does the teacher have them where they can see the ABCs with maybe a little picture? Maybe there's a ball beside the letter B. Maybe there's a dog beside the letter D. You know, it's something so simple, but we just don't think about sometimes that if they just have a poster to look at, it can really help them when they're stumped on which way do I write the letter or which letter is this. Now, that being said, you might even go a step further and have the teacher tape something to the child's desk or give your child a small bookmark with a picture for them to reference on which letter is B and which letter is D. Don't just have something tucked away inside a handwriting book or inside of a journal where you have all the ABCs. Have it out and prominently placed so that your child can refer to it on a regular basis. Hi parents, is your child struggling to read or even hates to read? And nothing you have tried has worked? Get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. I'm going to show you the simple tricks that I've used for years to successfully improve children's reading and their confidence in reading. It's easy, it's simple, and it's free. Just go to theparentteacherbridge.com/reading help. You can find that link in the description below. Number 2, give your child some mental strategies to rely on. Now, you may have a child that's a little bit older, maybe they're in the upper elementary school years, and they're too embarrassed to carry around an ABC chart with them. So what do? Well, let's talk about how the letters are formed. If you look at the lowercase b, you see a stick shape and a ball shape. So one trick that I've used over the years to help children know the difference is I refer to the stick part as a bat and the round part as a ball. Now, you can find this song easily online in any internet search. But I would sing the song, a bat and a ball, a bat and a ball. That's the way we make a bee, a bat and a ball. And we would write it in the air. I don't care how old the child was. If I was working with a child tutoring, we would do that. You can also have them practice that saying or that song as they're writing it. So they're going to be forming the stick part first, which is the bat, and then come up and around and form the ball. And if they can remember that little tune or that little rhyme, they can say that in their head as they're writing the letter, and it helps them know the difference. Another tip to keep in mind is that it may help to only introduce the letter B for a while before you give them a trick for the B and the D. Now, I talked with my mom, who had lots of experience teaching kindergarten and first grade age children, and she said that actually was a strategy that worked for them, was to only work on one of the letters. If they just worked on the letter B and they knew it so well, then when they encountered the D, they could recognize it was not the letter B. But if you should choose to work on the letter D, the other trick that I've used before is, instead of saying a bat and a ball, I say a doorknob and a door. A doorknob and a door, a doorknob and a door. That's the way we make a D, a doorknob and a door. Now, if your child has had some handwriting instruction, they probably are going to start writing the letter D just as if they're starting to make the letter C. And then they come up really tall to make the stick part. So they're not starting at the very top of the letter. They're starting at the rounded portion, which would be the doorknob. And the straight part would be the door. So that's really helped me so much with the children that I tutor. There are other ideas online. I think there's one about a belly, and there's one about a diaper, and there's one about a drumstick. You're going to find one that works for your child. But I'm telling you, the bat and the ball, the doorknob and the door, and writing in the air or writing on a piece of paper as you say it really, really helps. One more mental strategy that has helped children who confuse these letters is to do the bed trick. And this can be done a couple of different ways, but the way I've relied on the most is just by making thumbs in the air. If you look down at your own thumbs, you see that the B is on the left side and the D is on the right side. When I'm working with a tutoring student, I put my thumbs up against my chest and I say B, E, D. And so we actually use our body movements to drown it into their memory. And it's okay to practice like that in private, but if you have an older child, they may be embarrassed to do that. If they do it at home privately, they'll remember it better when they are at school. And it's easy to discreetly look down at a thumb without the other children knowing what they're doing or why they're relying on that. So I say that because I know there's lots of other children who are beyond kindergarten and first grade age that are still confusing these letters. Number 3 is to practice handwriting. Now, I touched on this in the last strategy, but if you work with your child on where are the proper points to start writing the letter, I think that can help reduce the letter confusion that they are having. Even children who don't have dyslexia or other learning disabilities will still confuse letters from time to time. I remember my own child writing the letter J and the letter Z backwards for a while, when all it really amounted to for him was that when he was writing, he just didn't have to use the letter J very much based on the words he was trying to write and spell. He certainly didn't have to use the letter Z very much. So it came with time and practice. So if you are looking for a handwriting program that you can try to implement, I suggest Handwriting Without Tears. You can also find apps that will work with this program. One example that I use a lot is Letter School. You can find Letter School in the App Store, and it makes noises when the child traces it. It doesn't let them start at the wrong starting point, and it even reminds them of the letter sounds. Number 4, practice making the letters in different ways using different materials. It might be a stick in the sand outside one day. It might be crayons that they can write on the bathtub with. It might be wiki sticks, those little wax-covered pieces of yarn that they can shape. You want to use as many senses as you can. You might even let them paint with a Q-tip and some paper. The point is that you don't give up. If you talk to any parent who has had this struggle with their child in the past, they're probably going to tell you something like, you know what? We got tired of always confusing it and we buckled down. We did not give up. We worked on it on a nearly daily basis for a while. We didn't wait for the school to fix all the problems for us. We practiced at home, and it got so much better when we decided to make it truly a priority. Now, if your child does have a learning disability, they can still improve, but there might be some times maybe when they're tired or they're stressed and they may still make those letter confusions. Let them know that it's okay. Just slow down and be careful and try to read and do your writing when you're not so tired. Number 5, listen to what you are reading and make sure that it makes sense. So when your child is reading in a book and they use the wrong letter sound for the B or the D, confusing them, ask them, did what you just say make sense? Can you read that sentence again? This is where my 6-year-old son is right now. He used to confuse the B and the D quite a bit, but every now and then it pops back up again. So I let him read it. If it doesn't make sense, I wait a few seconds to see if he can figure that out on his own. If he's absolutely stumped, I may ask him, is that a bat and a ball? Or is it a doorknob and a door? And ask him to explain why or why not. Reading and asking yourself, did what I just say make sense? That's called self-monitoring, and adults do it all the time. So we definitely want to teach our children to think about what they are reading when they are reading. And if it doesn't make sense, we've probably done something wrong. Go back and check again. Did you like this video? Don't forget to share with a friend, click like, and subscribe to find more useful videos for improving your child's education. Don't forget, in the description below, you can find my 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.